Jared Lee was very aware of how predominant cancer was in his family.
Like I said, my mom, her mother and dad, her brother died at 32 and it started in his colon.
But it was a relationship that his wife had made with the administrator of Gastro Arkansas that eventually got Jared to get his colonoscopy scheduled.
I was a preschool director, and Alyssa's son went to my school. She and I just have pretty much the same type of personality, just very outgoing. So we really hit it off.
The plotting between Alyssa and Andrea is why Jared finally had his colonoscopy scheduled.
I mean, the wife, I don't want to say nagging, but that's basically what was going on. The wife's on you about going and getting it done or whatever, and she eventually just one day come home and said, hey, this is your appointment, you're going.
But this procedure ended up differently than his previous colonoscopies.
They took us to a little side room, and that should have, looking back on it, you think, yeah, that never happened before. Normally they just come in and tell you, everything good, and you're going about your way. Well, after being in there 5-10 minutes or so, he come in and talked to us and told us that they had found I don't know that they called it a tumor, but they'd found a mass in there, and they of course was going to send it off, but he was pretty certain that it was cancer.
I tend to go to the worst. I had young kids. I knew his family history. I hate to say it, but I had him, in my head, I was like, I'm going to have to plan a funeral, and I've got, I'm too young for this. I'm too young to be doing this. This is not the way it was supposed to be.
The following days were a bit of a whirlwind and blur for the Lee family.
I had the surgery on Monday, went in and they removed 5.5 foot approximately of my colon to remove the mass.
He spent 29 days in the hospital. I spent every night but 2 with him. One of those was because our kids' first day of school, and that was hard. I didn't want to leave him, but I knew my kids. I needed to be there for my kids too. It's just, you just feel so torn, and I wanted to be strong for everybody. I didn't want them to see me crying because I didn't want them, I wanted everybody to think everything was going to be okay and we're, going to make it. So I would hide to cry. I would hide in the shower at the hospital and just sob, but then I'd just suck it up and get going and get back out there and do what needed to be done. So, but it was tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt I don't do this without her. You find out just how strong your marriage is, whenever you go through something like that.
Jared and Andrea are so grateful for their incredible support system, as well as the doctors, nurses, and staff at Gastro Arkansas.
They took such great care of me here, that's another reason I'm here today,
It's amazing. Nothing short of a miracle. I mean, thank goodness we had the people in our corner that we did, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
And they both remind everyone to consistently get your cancer screenings done.
You gotta get it done, no matter how inconvenient it seems or how much you're dreading it or anything like that. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm nothing special as far as, Mr. Tough or anything like that. I'm just as big a baby as anybody else. So, and I can handle it, so, anybody can handle it.
Just make them. Just nag. I tend, when I need Jared to do something, I tend to pull the heartstrings a little bit. Like, you've got a wife and kids to take care of. But that's the truth, You can't, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
You give up essentially 12, 16 hours or something, for the prep, and that's the worst part. After that, you come to the doctor, they put you out, you never know anything goes on, and it's over with, So you're talking about 24 hours of this terrible suffering that everybody builds it up in their mind when it's really nothing, versus, like I said, 29 days in the hospital, another 5-6 months off of work, and it took me about a year to really get my strength back and everything, and to feel like that I was, you know, back to normal. I mean, to me, 24 hours versus a year, that's a no-brainer, you know. It's a big-time no-brainer. So cancer is so easily beatable if you're getting the proper screenings done, you know. But if you're not, you just don't stand a chance. That's why it's a no-brainer to me on getting the stuff done.
Jared continues to get checked regularly because he truly believes he wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for that life-saving colonoscopy.
We credit them, Johnson and Alyssa both. I mean, they saved my life. There's no doubt, you know.
His outcome would have definitely been different. Probably wouldn't be here today. It wouldn't be a happy story anyway.
And you hear people say all the time, you know, that once you have a life-changing or near-death experience, you know, it changes, you know, and you can talk about it and think about it, but until it actually happens, you know, you don't. It is a weird kind of deal, you know. You just realize how short life is.